guys so much for watching. Please go down, like, subscribe, check my videos out if you haven't. Check my videos out on this build from the start to the finish. We are definitely getting this thing working a lot better. But today we are going to be installing a nib 30mm carburetor. We also have going to install the lines and everything, and hopefully get this thing running really smooth, crisp, hopefully a lot more power, fuel power, maybe even overall band power, all of that. So let us go over and let me show you what we got. Okay guys, so this is my Nib Racing 30mm carburetor. This is the same kind of carburetor I used in the 90cc build that I put in. If you have not seen that one, please go check it out. It's all the way down at the bottom, but it is there. So this one was really a hard battle to choose which one I wanted. So this one I liked, really honestly, because of the screw top. It was really convenient. The only thing I don't like about it right now, and I like everything about it, but the only thing I don't like is that these screws is on the right side of the motor instead of the left side motor like the other, like the OEM one was. So this should be on the other side, but it isn't. So that's a kind of a bummer. Only reason why is because this is going to probably be hitting the timing chain tensioner nut. So that's kind of a bummer. I was really hoping to keep that intact, but I think it'll be okay. It's not really rubbing too bad. Just as about the same as it was with the carburetor. I think it'll be fine. But this is really good. Let me look at the quality of this thing. It is absolutely beautiful. And it is a 30mm carburetor. You can see right here. So you see that I am telling the truth. It is a 30mm carburetor, N30. I don't know why it's not clearing up. There it is. Yep, right there, N30. So I wanted to install this because I wanted to have some more power. So we are also installing a slide pull cable, which is already installed. Once I didn't know if I was going to film this video, but once I got the lines in, it was pretty much a no-brainer. We had to do this. So we have already got the cable ran. This was a pain in the butt because I still have the factory ones in, and it was really hard trying to get this whole entire line, this whole entire cable in, which actually is a little longer than I expected. I didn't know how long I needed a cable, so it is a little long, but I think we got a way of making it work to our favor. So pretty much we got it on in. It just got it in like a few moments ago. This is why I'm doing the video, because if this didn't work, I wasn't going to do a video. But yet still, I had to get another one because I broke the last one, and as it's over there, I broke it trying to figure out this line thing. When I had this little piece in, it broke, and it yanked all the way back in there and broke it in half, and it was completely done. Luckily, these lines are not super expensive, so it was really no big deal to get another one. Did it again. Already had some like pull wire already through. I actually used the old line as my pull wire, zipped it to that one, pulled it on through. It went through flawlessly, and now we are at where we're at. So really honestly, all we got to do is we just got to take these two lines out, replace it with this one. So this is the push and pull lines. That's why there's two. This is the main line, and this is the secondary line. So this is probably the line that actually gives you the gas, and this is the line that pushes it back to make sure it stays closed. The reason why they had that was that if it ever got stuck, if the throttle ever got stuck open, it would actually push it back. So it would not stay open and then just let the bike just take off and just stay revving. It would actually pushes it back. So yeah, so I've never had that with the slide pull. I've never had any issues like that. So I'm not super worried about it. There will be a gaping hole on that end, but this ends, we're going to leave this in until we are satisfied. If we're not satisfied, no big deal. We can just pull this line back out, and then we can just hook everything back together, hook back in that carburetor, and we'll leave it alone. But I'm confident this is actually going to work. So, and it fits perfectly in this housing here, in the manifold. It fits perfectly in there. We're going to get rid of this air box, and we're going to replace it with the cold air intake So we're going to use the nib cold air intake for it because it works perfectly for that nib carburetor. All we have to do is just make the right jets. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to, since this is already a 40 and a 130, so a 40 pilot, 130 main, we are going to step it up to possibly either leaving the pilot as a 40 or go to a 45. But the actual main jet, instead of leaving it at a 30, we're going to go to a 135 just because we're adding in the cold air intake to give it just a little bit more gas. Hopefully everything will work out perfect. And if it's too much, then we'll go back down to a 130 and call it a day. And if it's too much on the main, we'll go back down to a 40 and call it a day. But we're going to start kind of high instead of low. Because if we go out there and it's like blah, 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 and then it doesn't work, then like, oh, great, I should have just gone to a 135. So we're going to start off with that, something simple. Maybe do a 45 for the pilot and a 145 for the main before we put gas in it. That way we don't have to do all that messy stuff. And then get it all bolted, change the gas over, get the cold air intake in there, do our adjustments, and then we should be able to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and get all this taken out. We're going to have to take apart the lines. I'm going to put the carburetor off to the side, get everything all fitted, and then we can swap gas from gas over, pull everything else out, put the line in, and then we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and get to that. Okay, guys, I think what we're going to do is first thing is we're going to take care of this line, because if we can get this line all set in here, then that's half the battle. Literally, the rest of it's just rerunning it to the actual thing, and then we can see what we got. So we're going to go ahead and do this part because this line was the hardest part. This is the second hardest part, which is not that hard at all. And then everything else is just tearing everything apart, replacing it. That's not hard at all. So this is the more critical stuff. So we're going to take this off first. So it's really not difficult. It's just you got to separate the two pieces. So, and I've already taken this off a long time before just to see how hard it was. It's not that hard. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all these lines out. So if we're happy with everything, then we will take it all apart again, and then we will take these two lines out, and there will be no more existing. We'll keep them, but it will not be in the bike. So all right. Let's hold on to this so it doesn't fall apart on you. Take this line out. This little screw. Okay. Okay. Then this just separates. Like so. So the two lines are right in there. So the push and pull, really quite simple. We just got to take it off, put it in there. Same, take it off there. I just need to get my open end wrench. Okay, hold on. Pretty quite simple. All right, it's not really that much to it. Loosen this. May have to loosen it from here too. I was hoping I didn't have to do that, at least not right away, but I might have to take it off anyway, so. All right, let's just take it off. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take off the carburetor cables down here to loosen these up. I was hoping I didn't have to, but I knew I was gonna have to eventually. I just was hoping I didn't have to do it anytime soon. So. I guess I just didn't want to have to ruin the lines, but to be honest, there's really no way of getting around it. Okay, there's one. This should be the line here that I need. Yep, it is. So let's take this out. Should just come out all together, hopefully. Yep. Alrighty. So then what I want to do is I want to just stick this in, get this going, because we need to know if this is going to fit too. So before we get all super tight with it. Oh no. Uh-oh. I was worried about that. So that hole is too big. So oh, I see. Let's see how we get this off. I think. Nah, we don't take it off from there. Looks like it might just about twist it off. Hold on. Okay guys, so we got the line in there. There's the two lines hanging from the old one. As you see, we got that in there. We may have some clearance issues with the seat, but we'll take care of that when we get to it. But it's all in there, it's turning. I had to switch sides because this side turns this way, and then the second side pulls it down. So when I put it on this one, I actually had to go turn it up, and then instead of doing this way. So when I swapped it, then I could pull it that way, and it's all in there. It's all running. We'll tuck that up. We got it going around the frame. We had to get it coming on the back side because the line's too long. If it was shorter, we could have turned it and had it going in that direction, which would have been great, but I messed up on that one. I made it too long. So I just didn't know how much room I was going to have. So it is what it is. But it still will work. We can still pull on it. We just got to clear it with the seat. We may have to put a little cutout, and then the seat will fit over top of that, which should be fine. So now we just got to swap everything over and give it a try. So yeah, so we're making some pretty good progress. We're going to stop and we reconvene in the morning, and then we'll hopefully get it all together and give it a run. So let's go to the next day. All right guys, so it's the next day. We are pretty much close to getting this done. There's not much left to do. Basically change the jets out real quick before we put fuel into the new carburetor, and then that's pretty much it. We need to put the cold air intake on because we're going to use the cold air intake, make sure that all buttons up and fits, and then get the old one out, and then we can turn it over, get it kind of set and tuning it and getting it running. Hopefully it'll run really well, and then we'll go from there. So there's not really much more left. Hopefully the weather will hold up. It's supposed to rain today, but hopefully the weather will hold up and we can at least go take it for a spin just to get it kind of dialed in. And then if this thing is dialed in and it works perfectly fine and there's no issues and there's power and all that stuff, then the last thing would be just to get that old cable out, and then we'll be done. But we probably won't do that for a while. Probably won't do it in this video. I'll probably just do it after, off camera. So, but let's go ahead and get the carburetor with the new jets, and then we'll go from there. So let's go do that. Okay guys, so we're back. We're trying to figure out which jet to use. So the carburetor comes with a 40 Pilot and a 128 main. That's just the basic. That's just the basic start off. So the carburetor that we were using, the regular carburetor, we did that jet kit. If you haven't seen that video, please go watch it. But that jet up kit we had it at a 40, and then we had it at a 130 main, and that seemed to work pretty good. But this time on this carburetor is a little more advanced. So, and we're also going to do a cold air intake. So I was going to just take the numbers from the previous carburetor and kind of go off with this. So I was going to do a 45 and a 135, which I think 135 is great, but so I have this kit here that actually has them all set up with what they're supposed to be. So a 135 pilot would be a 50, I'm sorry, with a 135 main jet, it would be a 50 pilot. So I was thinking maybe going off of that, because you do have the markings here, and then if you look at the 30, I'm sorry, I don't know if you look at the 30, see if we can get it in. So the 30 has a 128 pilot and a 40 main. So that's a good start for a 30. So we're going, but this is just with just the carburetor, nothing else added. Now we're going to add the cold air intake, and I know that adds a little bit more air. So you need, more air means more fuel. So I'm thinking going maybe, because I was going to go to 135. That was what I was going to start off with. And then if we needed to go more, we could just add more. But it's saying do a 150 pilot and a 135 main. And that seems about right, because you do want to bump it up. When you start adding stuff to it, exhaust or cold air intake, the jet size you would need to up your jet size so you can compensate for that more air getting into the bike and fuel and stuff. So I'm thinking about doing it that way. I don't think it would hurt to go to a 150, a 50 pilot and a 135 main. That was what I was already going to plan on doing. So I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with that route. Let me get I think my screwdriver will work. Let me get my Phillips, my flathead screwdriver, and we'll take this out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and change this out. I was going to use, I had some here. I had a 48 and 42 and then a 35, but we're not going to use that. We're going to use this kit. So let me find it again. I think it was, step into the light. Oh yeah, here it is. 50. These things are kind of tricky to get out, but this is a jet kit I had gotten for the bike the first time, and it just didn't work out because it didn't fit. But I figured it out. But yeah. So if I can get this thing to come out, there we go. All right. So now we're going to take out the pilot. I'm sorry. Take out the pilot. Why are they in there so tight? It does not need to be in there that tight. Hold on a sec. All right, guys, they package them super tight. It does not need to be that tight, because they just need to be hand tight. And these are copper pieces. They don't need to be torqued. This thing was torqued in there. So yeah, I don't know why they always keep doing that. But yeah, so we'll take this out and we'll replace it. So I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Probably not. But I was hoping that you guys could get a view. All right, it doesn't want to do it, but just trust to know this is a 50. So we're going to do a 50. And like I said, they don't need to be torqued in there. You just need them snug because you definitely don't want them to walk out on you. Just a couple of turns just to keep them tight so they don't vibrate out. That's all you need. And then this one right here is a 135. So 135. If we have to up it, we can up it, but we'll start with that. Just see where it goes. Okay. So got that. Just a little torque, because I understand they need to be tight because I have had them rattle and then they fall apart inside. So I do get that part, but they don't need to be that torqued that tight. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and put our cover back on. Get a line in this hole here. There we go. There we go. All right, we're gonna put our screws in. Those need to be tight. Get this one here. Sorry, I keep raising it too high. You're not seeing what I'm doing. All right, nice and tight. Okay, so and these I used to like about these things is that they have little marks already indicated on both ends. They're like little kind of help you get it going. So what I normally like to do is just to go ahead and leave it where it is and see if it'll start. If not, we'll have to ream it in, come back out a couple of turns, and then get it going. So this is ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and get this back in. Then we're also gonna get the cold air intake on it, and then get the fuel in here, in this area right here. Get that off so we'll be ready for it, and then we should be good to go. So let's go back to the bike, get this all installed, and then we should be able to start the bike up and go from there. So let's get back over there. All right, guys, so get this thing back in. Get this line down. I think that's what this hole's for. We're going to utilize it as that. Make sure you get that in there right. Go ahead and tighten this up. All right. All right. Let's get this back in here. Get it lined up. Get it to fall in. So I like this carburetor for this kind of reason. It's really easy to turn off and on. Just get it off and up. The PEK would have been nice because the PEK has that little line thing that goes on top and then gives you extra fuel. It's supposed to be like 10% more airflow and power and stuff, I believe. But it was a little bit tall. I just didn't know how it was all going to work out. Maybe later we could upgrade to a PEK, but I think this will work just for right now, for what we need it to. So now we have our cold air intake. It was already set. I was going to use this on the other one, but so yeah, I think I want to. So we'll put this on last. We'll get the actual old carburetor out of the way because it's in my way. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we're going to disconnect it. Disconnect the heater cable as well as the idle adjustable valve. Sorry, my arm's in the way. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Everything's out of the way. The only thing we gotta do is we just gotta take this gas thing off. So we'll do that next. Let me go get my flathead. So last thing, just get this gas line off. Then we'll just pull it off. All right, we'll put this, set that down. I'm wondering if I wonder if I need to do that. Let me take this thing off. Hopefully I don't need to use this clamp. Hope it'll just slide right over there. We may have to use the clamp. Darn it. Okay, no big deal. Let's loosen this up just a little bit. Sorry, excuse my arm. It's in the way. Well, I had this on here really good, but I think it's been so tight on there. Yeah, now it doesn't want to come off. It just wants to go in and tighten, but it doesn't want to open it up. Maybe we'll do a zip tie instead, because that's fine. Or we get another clamp. Hold on, let me get another clamp and we'll try it again. Okay guys, we're back. So I just used a zip tie. Seems like it holds pretty good, so we'll give that a go. If it doesn't work, we'll go to an actual clamp, but we should be good. So I think now we're ready to go ahead and try and get this turned over. I just want to do one more thing to make sure I got enough room for my tweaking, which I do. Okay, cool. All right, so we're pretty much good. Pretty much good to go. Let me get this thing slid back on here real quick. So now we're gonna go ahead and get our cold air intake on. And this should fit it should fit snugly right over this thing. Just gotta loosen it up just a little bit. Get some kind of it has a hanger piece. We may have to help it stay up. So I may put a little zip tie under it to keep it up, so that way it's not in the way and doesn't hold it down. But we're gonna try that for where it is right now. All right, so let's clear some of this stuff off, and then we'll open the door and we'll give it a start. All right, guys, here we go. Let's turn it on. Okay. You don't need that. Okay. It's idling. Let's see what happens when we give it a little throttle. Alright. I think we're good. We're going to let this warm up a little bit, and then we're going to check it. So we're going to come back when this is all warmed up. Okay guys, so we're back. We got this thing tuned pretty good. Had a little bit of a fuel leak, but we got it nice and tightened down now. It's sitting pretty good. You can hear it. I think the pilot might be a little bit too big. I think a 50 is too big. May have to go to a 45 just to keep it from doing the bog. Now I think the bog means that it's just not enough. So we'll try that. See how that goes. But should be good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the seat on and see if the seat's going to cause any issues. So let me go grab the seat real quick. It does cause a little bit of pull on the throttle, just a little bit, but not that much. Yeah, just a little bit. So what we may have to do is make a nice incision. So do a cut at an angle from here. Sorry, let's show you. So we'll probably do a cut from here to let the cable be able to come up. And then we should be good. Like I said, there won't be a whole lot of room for stuff that much, but I think when we put that cover over top, I think we should be okay. We still can put our helmet here and a couple of stuff here and there, but the carpet thing is really nice and strong, so it'll actually protect it. But if we have to, we can cut into that little plastic piece as well and go from there. So let me get some markings going, and then we may cut into that to take care of that problem. Then we should be good. So let me get my marker and we'll be right back. Alright, so I got my marker. I'm going to take some mark. That's a pretty good mark cut. Alright, so now we will cut it and we should be good. Okay guys, we got the cable cut. It's out of the way now, nice and good. If I grab the carpet, so let's see what the carpet looks like with it in there, because that's what's going to help keep it covered. Okay, so then if I take the carpet up, alright, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's actually holding really good. Because here's where it is right there. It's just raising it ever so slightly. Just a little bit. I may have to make a cut or something to protect it. So we'll have to make some more incisions, maybe on the, I don't want to make it on the carpet, but maybe make it on the cover itself and cut that piece out so that way it doesn't interfere. Well, actually you can't put the cover on it because that's going to interfere it. This is the only thing that's going to keep it protected from it touching anything. So we just have to be mindful of it because it is pushing down on it just a little bit. So we may have to cut into the felt to get that line to come up so nothing touches it. At least least we still put the cover on top of it, because the cover is hitting like right here. The cover's hitting like right there on top, but it floats up a little bit, so it's not completely sitting on it. But that line is definitely taking over. So we'll have to make some incision cuts on the felt, and then we should be good, because I don't want to leave this open like that. I want it to at least be protected and covered from all the elements and stuff. So if anything, we may have to cut into the cover and then put the felt over top of it. If we have to, then it is what it is. At least that way it'll be nice and covered. We can still put some tools and stuff in, and we just have to be mindful of it hitting the throttle cable. That's all. So, and I can always make a block off, like a little block off area, so so nothing hits the cable, and then we should be good. So I have to make a little bit more cosmetic cuts, but that's actually not that terrible. I'm actually fine with that. And then if we had to patch it up later, we can always patch it up later. So I think for right now, it's warmed up pretty good. Let's see what this 50 will do. I think it might be a bit much. May have to come down a little bit. I think it's not really, I don't think it's the pilot, because right now it's running off of the, I don't think it's the main, because right now it's running off of the pilot, and it might be a bit too rich. So I think I might go down to a 45 or something. So we'll see how that goes. But right now, let's go take it for a spin and see how it does. Okay guys, so the bike seems to be running okay. It has a lot of power. So we're gonna get it out on the road, take it for a spin. I'm gonna put my GPS thing on there and see if we get any miles, see if we get better miles per hour. I think I topped up at 55. I may not be able to get it on these roads, but we'll try and see how much power does it get and how much top end we can get just by taking it. Now I feel like the pilot is a little bit much. It's a 50. I think I want to go to a 45. I think that was probably the best. I think the 135 is perfect. So I think we just need to get it to a 45, and I think it'll be dialed. It's a little bit rich, but I'd rather be a little rich than a little lean. So we'll give it a try, because the cold air intake is bringing in more air. Hopefully it'll be more fuel. But I think 45 is probably the sweet spot. So we'll give it a try, ride it around, and if it seems like it's too much, then we'll go down to a 45 and we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna go take it for a spin, and then I'll be back and I'll give you the review. All right guys, we are back. It is running really, really good. All the power, you give it the throttle, it gives you more, it takes off. I haven't gotten the top speed. It's still about 55-ish, but we haven't got a chance to let it open and eat. So I think I'm going to take this out on that main long road that I always take, the highway. It's like a miniature highway, and see what the speed is. That way we can give it a nice good top run and see actually how good it goes. So far it's running really, really good. The only thing I need to do is the line that was coming off of the crank, that needs to go back into the air box somehow, because I believe that would add more. It'll take away some of that gassy smell, because right now it's pumping like a little gassy smell, and it's only because that thing is just pumping out in the atmosphere, which I don't like. I want to get that isolated back into the air mixture system, so that way it can burn it off. Maybe it'll give us some more power. But right now it's got all the power. I could turn that throttle and it keeps on turning, and it keeps going and going and going. And this thing just wants to just keep going. So I will have to figure out the throttle setting hold, because it is kind of pushing down on it. It did take off a little bit right before I left, and I had to get off of it and just adjust it. So when we finally get this thing all set, we need to probably brace it with something, so that way it doesn't move and it doesn't push it down anymore. I think I got an idea, but we'll get that taken care of. But right now, I think I'm gonna take it right back out again, and we're gonna get on that long road and see actually how much distance power this thing is going. So let's get back on it, and I'm gonna go do another top speed run, and we'll go from there and see how everything goes, and we'll come back and I'll give you the same result. So let's get back on it and let's go take it for a top speed run. Okay guys, so I'm gonna take you with me. I got you strapped to my chest. We're gonna do this run, see how it goes. Hopefully we get some better top speed runs. So let's see how this goes.
All right, let's do this. Wow, guys, that was fast, and I didn't even get on the straightaway. Wow. Let me see what that speed was. We'll be right back. Guys, that was amazing. Just that run, getting to the gas station, because I only had one bar, that was 64 miles an hour. 64. Got a little squirrely because the wind was blowing me to the left, so I had to turn it off. But it's 64, and I didn't even get to just do a top run. That was the top run. So, yo, guys, this is truly amazing. I literally thought I was gonna have to do a gear up and all this other stuff. All I needed to do was put a better carburetor in there, and this thing is running flawlessly. I cannot even, oh my gosh, dude, I cannot even I'm just so stoked right now. I'm gonna top it off with some more fuel because it definitely needs more fuel. So we'll take it back out again and see if we can get some more, but that was crazy. I am super happy right now. Let me get some gas and we'll get right back out there. Woo! That was a good run. All right, we're gonna check and see what the speedo was. So I just want to make sure this is all good. Looks to be intact, no leaks. As you see. All right, let me see what the speedo was when we were back. All right, guys, so we are back. I just got finished checking the results. We had a top speed of 67 miles an hour. That is great. Now, the TAC topped out at 75. So the speedo is off, going in the down direction. By, I would say, if it was 67 on the GPS and it was 75, I think we're about a good mile and a half off. I don't know how to adjust that part. I have to see if I can research that, because that's fine. So when it says I'm doing 70, I'm actually doing 60, which is fine. That's fine. I'd rather it be low than high. I would hate for it to be like, say I'm doing 70 and I'm actually doing 80. You know what I mean? So I really would like to know that speed. But if I can't get it adjusted, I'll probably just mount a GPS on it every time I'm riding, so that way I know my actual speed and don't even worry about the speedo. So yeah, I'm 67. That's great. I mean, it was already topping out at 55 when I had it just a regular way. So this carburetor, the cold air intake, and some more jet adjustments actually worked. It actually gave me more power and speed, and I didn't have to do anything. Now I am still going to do the gear up. That will get it hopefully to a 70-ish. So if the speedo goes a little bit higher, then that means that I'll actually be hitting 70. So that's actually good. And I was going on the road passing cars and stuff with effortless. So I think we hit our goal to getting this thing riding to Williamsburg. We may have to take some of the back roads. I wouldn't recommend taking the highway, maybe until I get all the fairings and stuff on it, because it is really gusty. So I think on a gusty, windy day, it may not be a good idea to take the highway, but we take the back roads, we can get there pretty good. So I would recommend that. We'll do some more extensive testing on it. I think where it's at is okay. I wouldn't mind trying to see what a 45 would do on the Pilot, just to see if that'll keep it toned. Because when it gets to the main is fine. Now I could go a little higher, but I don't really think it needs it. I think it's perfectly fine. I think if we start messing with the transmission part of the bike, I think we can help achieve that extra speed, changing that little counter sprocket and getting maybe some lighter weight rollers and the clutch kit. I think if we did that, I think we would achieve a little more extra speed. 75 is perfect. I'm not trying to do some crazy 100-mile runs in this thing. I just wanted to be able to get this thing to go with the flow of traffic, highway. If I had to get on the highway, I could, but just on the normal roads that some roads do turn into 55 or 45, I would be able to keep up with traffic and get around vehicles if I had to. So that was the goal. I didn't really want it to do like 200 miles an hour, nothing like that, nothing crazy, or 175. I don't need to do all that. If I even got it to like 80, that would be fine too, because it's supposed to say it can do 80. But I think with my weight, I could probably, if I hadn't with me riding it, I could probably get it to that speed. But the gearing and the clutch, I think would work perfectly fine. Excuse the jets flying over. We're at the Air Force bases right over there. So yeah, I think we did what we sought out to do. Now the only thing I need to do now is there's some tweakings. There's a lot of stuff I need to do. I think I could go ahead and take out the cables now, because this bike is running awesome. And I would probably like to test the 45 Pilot. The main jet is fine. I'm leaving that alone. The 135 is great. That was a good number. I don't know if I added a bigger jet, would that give me more power or more speed? I don't know, but 70 or 67, 70, 75, that's great. So that'll get me around. Wow. Sorry about that. I didn't realize the jets were doing maneuvers today, so my bad. My bad on that. So yes. So there's some tweaking to do. I could change the exhaust to give it some more lightness to it and everything like that. I need to configure the line. Here, I'll show you. So everything is running really good. I would like to get a more lighter exhaust. I think this would free up some restriction of the exhaust part. Everything is good. The only thing I need to fix is this line here, because as you see it, it's right here. So that went into the intake, and it's actually coming from this part here. It is this line. It's the crankcase pressure, because you can smell gas coming out of it, and it wraps around, goes into this canister, then comes out and goes right back into the thing to get burned off. So I'm gonna have to makeshift something to get that to work. Right now it's just dumping right on top of the air filter, just going right back in, getting sucked in. So that's fine, but I want to be able to mount some way where I could either make a hole in this and just stick it in here, or maybe a hole in here, stick it, or maybe get a T and get it to fit in here. I don't know. Or my idea was to go to the cone, the end of the cone, drill a hole, and just small enough to get that on there, but the line's too short. So, and the way this sticks out, it's pretty far sticking out. It sticks right where the normal air box would be. So we're gonna have to figure something out with that. Maybe get a longer hose. That way we can do that, which is not a problem. Just take this line off, get a longer line, and use that fitting to go right back into it, and then we will be good to go. So everything is dialed in. I do want to try, like I said, I do want to try and change it to a 45 just to see the difference, to see if that would make it a little less gassy. But I think the gas is coming from this, because when I'm running, it's I could smell a little bit of gas coming out. It's just crankcase pressure with some fuel, and that needs to go back into the airline. So we'll have to figure a way of making that work. But and then I got to re-rig the lines up to get that all taken care of, and I'll figure that one out too, and then put everything back together, and she'll be good. Like, I am super stoked. I can literally go ahead and take these cables out. That's how confident I am with this. This whole entire cable system can come out, and then I can put the top part back together and everything, and then we will be good to go. So yeah, everything is awesome. Everything is working. There's no issues, no problems, no nothing. Everything is just solid. I am super stoked about this. All right, guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get these cables out, and we're going to put this top part back together, and then that way we can get this cable out of here, and then we can do our little setups down here, getting everything all nice and tidy and all wrapped up and hung and hanging and not really drooping and anything like that. Anything that's in the way of the cable, we'll get that taken care of. But we're going to go ahead and get this cable out because we really don't need to have it anymore. Oh, there it is. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get you guys back here. Oh, shoot. Okay, all right. We're going to cut this cable off, get it out of our way. Right now we just got it zip tied right now. So I don't want to cut the zip tie that I just, okay. I think I see what that's holding on to. No, it's another zip tie, I think. No. Alright, well, we'll just go ahead and take all the zip ties off. I'm not for sure which one is holding the actual thing, so there we go. I wasn't for sure which one it was. I think it was all intertwined. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get these cables out. Let's see, should I go up? Yeah, let's go up. Oh wait, hold on a sec. I think there was something. Thinking this trough path. Yeah. These little clippy things I gotta undo so that way they don't get tucked. Alright, let's see if that works. This is gonna be tight. I don't even know if it'll even come out, to be honest. Nope, doesn't seem like it. Okay, let's push it. Okay, we may have an issue getting these out of here. Just a little bit. All right, no go. Let's try this the other way. And again, we may just have to tuck them and just leave them, which I would be fine with that too. I think we'll probably just do that. I think we'll just tuck them and leave them. I guess eventually, if one of these days, if we decide we really just don't need it anymore, we'll just cut it. Because really, honestly, it's really going to be the same. Like, if I have to replace this again, I'm not going to replace it back to the stock.
I'm gonna replace it with another nib carburetor and a slide pull. So really, honestly, I really wouldn't need it. And if I replace in this cable, I'm gonna replace it with another nib carb slider pull. So there's really no issue with this cable or carburetor whatsoever that would keep me, that would think that I would need to go back to the original. So let me try and see if I can go this way with it. No. Alright. So the only way that I think that I can get these out is I think I'm going to have to cut them. I really hated to do that, but it was inevitable. So now this cable is kind of stuck down there. Not actually stuck, just needs to get lifted back up and around. I really didn't want to have to cut this. I really didn't, but I may have to. I really want it out. And quite honestly, with everything working the way that it has, I don't even see why I would need to use this now that I know everything successfully worked. So somewhere, it's just really tight in there, the way it is. I really didn't want to cut it, but I can always get another cable if I had to. But like I said, the chances of me going back to this is pretty slim. Even though this is loose, it's holding perfectly fine. Nothing's giving any issues. I'm fine with that. I mean, we'll find some way to make it a little bit more stable, but really and honestly, it's in there. So, and it's not hard to replace this line if I had to, if it broke or something like that. So I'm not really worried about it. I really like this carburetor. It works really well, way more better than the other one did. So yeah. All right. Man, I really did not want to have to cut this. I was hoping I could just keep this for later, but it's too thick, and really, honestly, I would have to take off this whole entire piece, and I really didn't know how to even take this part off just to get it. So, well, we got to replace it later. We'll replace it later. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. Where's my cutters at? And so, I really didn't want to do that, but it left me no choice. So, all right. So now we're gonna go ahead and get this top part all put back on. So, get this all in here. It's quite hard to show you on camera, but just know that this is going back in. Goes in like this, gets mounted. There's the bolt here, here, and here, and then when we get the two side pieces on, the side pieces go on, and then there's 4 bolts that hold it in place as it clips up here, and then put the center piece back on, and then voila, we're done. So let me do that, and we'll be right back.
We're gonna go ahead and just do a time lapse and just let you guys see it. If you guys, like to see how this goes on, fine. But it's really tricky, hard to get under there and show you. But yeah. So let me just do a time lapse of it, and you'll see. Alright guys, and just like that, it's back on. As you see the cable, it's nice and perfect in there. Nice and good, nice blue, which actually kind of matches the bike, which I'm pretty happy about. That's the reason why I got the blue. So now everything is going really well up there. So now all we gotta do is figure out how we're gonna route, or not really route, but mount everything back up with the cable and the seat cover and then everything. Okay guys, so now we're waiting. I just finished making the line. I'll show it to you in a minute when it dries. But right now everything is good. I just need to get this routed right so it doesn't keep pulling on it. We need to mount it, strap it, however we're gonna do it. So we need to get the seat back in here. To figure out the way. That's actually pretty good. Oh. And then we can actually get some more cable if we have to. Okay, so do that where that is. Bottom frame piece that this thing is holding on to, so we're going to zip tie it in a bunch of places just to keep it from moving, so that way it doesn't get us any issues down the road. That's zip tied. Alright. So now we got it in a spot. We can always pull it if we have to. If it's going to be too tight. I think we got it. That's pretty good. So, let's take this felt cover here and see how good is it going to be. We'll have to start it up to see how that's going to fit. We may have to still do some modifications, but I think this will hold because it's hard up here, and this is where the helmet goes, and then some stuff can go here. So hopefully, if it's not pushing down on it too bad, we can still put tools and everything in here and still be perfectly fine. So we just have to worry about the cover later, because the cover definitely going to give us an issue. So this is the cover. Goes in like so in these holes, and then it sits right there. Now if that is perfectly fine and it doesn't push down on it, then I'll go with that. I'll bolt it up and we'll be done. But that might push down on it a little bit, so I may have to cut
into this area too, just to get the line to go right here. So I just really wanted to be free to get on there and not have any issues with the felt, with everything. So yeah. So we may have to do a nice incision cut right here as well, or as far as we need to go. I don't know, we'll see how this goes with this covered piece. I know this covered piece was definitely one of the culprits of why it was not going to sit nice and flush on there, but yeah. So that will probably be the last thing that we'll be messing with, is the cover, is this piece area. Just because we have to test it, cut it, test it, cut it, just to make sure everything's properly gonna fit right. And then once we get it completely right, then we should be able to be okay with the way it goes, and then it should be all right to bolt it up and be done with it. So this one will be a little bit of a task taker, but if anything, if I have to just put a brace, something, a little plastic piece to go across here, just enough to put, like, I put my helmet in here and hold it, and then wherever it stops at, just put a brace here, keep the helmet from sliding forward, and then we'll just leave this off, and then we'll just have to just deal with it later, because we're never going to ride this in the rain unless we get caught in the rain. So that'd be my only thing. And then if anything, if we have to build a cover, a bigger cover to like hide this area, then we will. We can maybe mold it out of the cover and then just make it a little bigger. Something that we need just to cover it over to make sure that it's not going to hit or touch or anything like that. But if I can keep the helmet in here and then block this area off, or just block this area off and this is where all my stuff goes, then that's fine. But I wanted to utilize the whole entire container because that's what it's for. Put a helmet here and some stuff here, and or I can carry some stuff. So I really wanted to be able to continue to utilize that. So we'll figure this part out. It's not that big of a deal, but as long as everything is good, that's fine. So we'll have to just makeshift this a little bit more once I have to finagle and test it and whatnot. So alright. So that will probably be the very, very last thing to be messing with, is that covered. We'll figure that out later, but getting the rest of the stuff is all the main concern. So now that should be dry. Doesn't take very much for it to be dry. Yeah, it's perfectly dry. So here's what I came up with, is this. So got a hole. You see the tube is right there. It's going to be closer to the throttle, so that way it gets that gas stuff back in there. And we'll cut this to fit, but we'll put it on first, then we'll cut it to fit to make sure it's going to fit right, and then we'll be good. And then that extra gas stuff will go right into it. And this is just a quick DIY. I made the hole a little too big, but then this tube was big enough to fit right in with snug, so I just hot glued it. And then the end here fits perfectly on this piece without even having to put a clamp on it. So that'll be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and remount this back on. Alrighty, so now we're going to get this thing back on. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit of a bend, but if I do it this way, this
still gonna be a bit of a bend, but I think it would be more easier. Nope. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to reroute this thing real quick. So hold on a sec. We're gonna flip this thing around. Actually, hold up. I may not be able to flip it around. Oh joy, I just thought of something. I'm not gonna be able to put a flap over this because it mounts to the box. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll deal with that later. Because I was gonna, if I mount the pipe straight, then it'll just sit right here and it'll be enough room to curve into it. So we're gonna try that real quick. Oh, okay. It won't work that way. Okay, they're on. They're on. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Alright, so where'd it go? Alright, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay. Actually, I don't like that. Okay. Alright, that is on there. Try to get up as high as we can get it. Alright, now we can tighten it up. Alright. So, since this pipe is extremely long, we're just going to do a loop. This, and then we'll just let it right on it. And there we go. Now it looks kind of weird, but actually, I just realized something. Hold on a sec. Take this off. Just realized something. Now we can take this hose and put it in like that. Now it's out from under. Now we just have to strap it. We'll strap it somewhere up high and keep it from getting caught. And yeah. So we're gonna use. So we got it with the what's it called came off. So I'm gonna use some metal putty to put this back on it. So keep it from moving because it moved. So it broke off the thing. So it's fine. But I'm gonna do some metal putty, and I'll keep it hard as a rock, and it won't move at all. So we'll do that. Be right back. All right, guys. So we're back. So I got it all done. So this is nice and dry. Just some metal putty epoxy. I know this is going to hold and it's not going to allow that to slide out. So perfect. Then you see inside the hole there's the thing. So now we're going to put this back on. Let me get my flathead screwdriver. Because I want to take this back out for another ride. Alrighty, set you there for a sec. I'm just going to take the hose, wrap it back around. Connect it. Then we're going to strap it. Let's see, strap it to this thing right here. Alright, nice and strapped. Cut the line. Alright. And the only last thing that we need to do is we need to strap this up just to keep it up high so it doesn't put any stress on the carburetor. So, and I think we should be good after that. So we're gonna try to wrap this thing around. But not wrapped the cable. Alright, cable's out of that. Just want to keep that nice and tight so it can hang. And then we'll cut it. We should be good to go. Everything's there. We got that nice and loose. So now what we're going to go do is we're going to go ahead and finish putting the bottom panel pieces back on and the side panel pieces, and then we'll go take it out for a spin and call it a day. So let's go do that, clean up all this stuff, and then we will get the panel pieces on down below, and then we should be good to go. Well guys, after 7 long months, this bike is finally done. And let us show you what we got.
So guys, that is it. This bike is 100% running, 100% driving, 100% speed, and 100% done. The only thing left to do is some normal small maintenance stuff. It needs a new rear tire. It needs to be inspected after the rear tire. Couple of brake checks. I would like to try to figure out how to adjust the speedo just to get the speed kind of a little more accurate. We will probably upgrade the exhaust later, the clutch and roller weights later. I think I want to put some new shocks on there and later. That's all preventative maintenance stuff, nothing crazy. The clutches and the gear and the roller weights, those are all speed stuff. Hopefully that'll give us some speed, some little bit more up there kind of speeds. It's already running at 67 miles an hour, which is really good. I hope to get to at least to be 70, 75, and maybe even 80. That would be the hit. 80, I don't expect it to go any more than that, and that's perfectly fine. 80 is pretty fast, and that's highway speed, so that's perfect. If I had to take it on the highway. But I'll probably use it for like back roads and stuff like that, but at least I know that I can get some speed out of it and we can move along really fast. So this bike is completely done. Done. Everything else I will be doing forward wise would be off camera. Probably the only thing I will probably film will be when I do the counter spring, the counter sprocket, and the clutches and the roller weights, just because we want to get a speed thing on that, see if that makes any improvements, and then go from there. But then after that, that's pretty much it. I'll probably do one more video of some reviews, but the last video would probably be when we do the clutches and the transmission part, and then the rest of it will be done off camera. So this bike is completely 100% done. I thank you guys for coming on this journey on me. I know towards the end it started going downhill. A lot of people weren't really interested in it anymore, but I know it was good up until I did the 300 changeover. After that, it kind of went down. Hopefully this will get you guys back involved in it and liking it. Please go down and like and subscribe. Check me out. Hopefully you guys let me know what you thought of this build, because it was really a really cool build. I got this thing not only running and driving, but I actually got it up to speed just in this video, just by replacing the carburetor with a slide pull carburetor and a nib racing carburetor, and the thing is doing 67 miles an hour, and it could probably do more if I had some lightweight clutches and a gear to help get me up there. And then that's it, it's done. And the clutch spring, and that's it, it's done. The exhaust is just more lighter exhaust, better performing exhaust. Take away some of that restriction. We got a cold air intake in there that's dumping massive amount of air into that carburetor, and the carburetor is picking it up and eating it. So it is just lovely. So there's still a little more tweakings and stuff we need to do with inside the storage area on the seats to get the cable straight. That's not much of a video. It's just more of me just trying to figure it and get it all nice and tucked so it doesn't keep pulling on it. And that's it. So guys, I'm really thankful for this being done. I was about to think about getting rid of this because I didn't think it was going to work, but now it's running really good and powerful, and I can just move in this thing. So I'm super happy with it. I'm glad I stuck with it and not give up. So don't give up on your projects if you think it's going to work. Sometimes you do have to just give up because it's just not going anywhere and it's just not going to be the way that you want it to, and you do have to give up sometimes. But when you're close and you're almost there, try a little harder and the results end up being awesome. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go take this out and enjoy it, and you guys have a good and blessed day, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next fix. Until then, peace.